Daz Dee TV.
Hey everybody, and welcome to episode 15 of Daz Dee TV, and in this episode I'm going to be answering the question, is resistance training safe for kids? Now this is a topic that I have to answer a lot. Pretty much every tennis academy that APA works in, there will be a parent who asks that question, and in many cases there will be at least one or two parents that have already made their mind up that it isn't safe. So it is a hot topic, and it's a topic that is important to continually talk about. It's been in the press recently. I know that there's been at least two articles that were published, one particularly in a very popular newspaper, I think it might be in the Daily Mail or the Telegraph, that was written by a personal trainer. And the essence of the article was that before you get through puberty, the most important type of strength training that you should be focusing on is body weight training. And then after puberty, that's when you can start introducing some external load. And I know for a lot of strength conditioning coaches, that was one of those moments where you're like, come on. And so one of the things I wanted to share you with was actually almost a counter article. It wasn't written in response to that, by the way. It just happened to be coincidentally released at a similar time. It was released in Men's Fitness magazine, I think the US version, and it was an article that was written by Gregory Meyer and Avery Feigenbaum, and these are pediatric researchers in America that are well respected and have produced a huge amount of scientific publications on the topics of strength training and specifically youth training as well. And so they wrote an article, and basically they addressed the issues head on, and those issues being that parents and coaches will typically think that lifting weights can damage kids' growth plates, that lifting weights can increase their kids' risk of a bone fracture. And they start their article saying both arguments are completely unfounded. There's no truth to either of them. So this was a really interesting article that was written, and it kind of supported my belief that resistance training with children is appropriate, and that once they progress through their body weight exercises, if they have got to the point where they have developed sound technique in body weight competency such as press-ups and pull-ups and squats and lunges and planks and all this kind of stuff, that they are ready to progress to some external load even if they haven't yet gone through and finished puberty. And there's a couple of reasons why we know that's a good thing. But the one that highlighted for me, which I think makes the most sense, and I'm going to just quickly talk about now, is this point here. Maximizing training age is more impactful in kids because they have more adaptive processes to capitalize on. At 14, 15, 16 years old, you have hormonal and neuromuscular factors converging. And if you have a higher training age at this point, it's much more advantageous for yielding higher adaptations. So what does that mean? Well, this is what it means to me, that we know that during puberty, that your body is developing a increase in testosterone, particularly for men, which then favors the use of strength training, because the body is going to be more able to handle higher loads because the muscles are going to be stronger. Now, the problem is that if you wait until after puberty before you start doing external load, and all you're doing up until that point is body weight exercises, you're not going to be then fully maximizing the adaptation processes during puberty, because you're going to be focusing on body weight exercises. really what you want to do is you want to increase their training age and start the body weight training prior to puberty, so that by the time that they're in puberty, they're already doing some kind of resistance training with external load, which is going to challenge the body's adaptive response during a time when it can actually cope with it and handle it, because by this time through puberty, the hormonal and neuromuscular profile of the body is changing. It can adapt and it will respond better to more resistance. So I'd really encourage you all to check out the article. It's up on my Facebook page. I'll make sure that you have the link to it in this YouTube channel. And yeah, I just wanted to say, look, it's a message that we have to keep saying, but resistance training is safe for children. It's not going to have any negative effects on the bones. And in fact, one of the things that it does say on here, which I probably should highlight as well, is it goes on to say that you can actually increase bone strength as an adult. We know this, right? But the gains you get during childhood are much greater, and actually high quality and specific, safe impact work that includes resistance training, but also running and jumping and all these kinds of things actually help to develop increases levels of bone mineral density. So all these kind of things, impact training is actually a good thing for the bones. It actually increases the bone mineral density, which means that they are stronger. So the idea of only doing body weight training and wrapping the kid up in cotton wool before they actually get past puberty doesn't make sense. And especially when you think about all of the demands on the body during sport. If you think about tennis, for example, when you're running out to that wide forehand on the full run, sprinting, and you're hitting that ball, and then you have to land, you could have up to 8 times your body weight going through your legs. And you're telling me that if they only do body weight training in the gym, doing squats, that's preparing them to be able to tolerate those huge impact forces? No, not at all. The best thing they can do is get strong in the gym doing a controlled squat with some weight, which is actually going to enable the muscles to learn how to comfortably absorb forces safely, so that when they go onto the tennis court and they have to manage those impact forces at speed, at least the muscles have started to understand how to control those huge forces through doing squats with weight on. So, end of rant. Hope you've enjoyed hearing that, and if you've got any questions or you want to comment on resistance training or you give your viewpoint, let us have them. I'd be interested to hear your thoughts. Thanks a lot.
Daz Dee TV.